Yo, what's up, guys? It's Alex here, and it's the end of 2018, and you know what that means? My top 10 favorite movies of 2018. Time just to put them out there. I've been making this list for the entire year, trying to watch as many movies as possible, but this year I did not get that many, which I'm kind of sad about. And before we get into the top 10 itself, I just want to put in five honorable mentions, which are Sorry to Bother You, Tully, Mission Impossible Fallout, Leave No Trace, and Black Mirror Bandersnatch, which really isn't a movie, but I kind of like to think of it as one since it's like an hour and a half long or so, depending on how you watch it. But I mean, yeah, time to get into the actual countdown, starting with my number 10 pick. I thought that Deadpool 2 was actually a lot better than the first one. I wasn't much of a big fan of the first one as most other people were, but I really enjoyed Deadpool 2. First off, the jokes were just much funnier, and I thought that they just had a bigger impact, especially in the in the jetpack landing scene. That one was just hilarious. And I also thought that the character development was just much better in this one too, especially with the new characters such as Domino and Cable. And I thought that it was just all around such a better film, and it was just truly just super funny. And I even found my aside actually hurting throughout it. And I found it kind of surprising that this one didn't do as well as the first one. It actually did a worse at the box office, and I also just loved the end credit scene. It was just super funny, and also they actually released an extended cut on Blu-ray, and I suggest that you guys all see that because it's just so much funnier, and there's like 15 more minutes or so. Me and my friends over the summer tried to sneak into a showing of Black Klansman because all of us really wanted to see it, but we almost got caught. So instead, we had to stick for Won't You Be My Neighbor. This movie was really intriguing, especially since I almost never watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood as a kid. Well, I mean sometimes, but like I didn't watch it that much. But this was a really just powerful documentary. Like after this, I found just just the just just the person of Mr. Rogers just an amazing role model for so many children. And I even found myself actually tearing up during it because of just how powerful it was. And this documentary just shows us like how good each of us can be just by trying to, if that makes any sense, which it doesn't. Eighth Grade was one of my most anticipated movies of the entire year, especially because of my favorite, not my favorite, but one of my favorite comedians, Bo Burnham directing it. Like that's just insane. Like especially after Jordan Peele directing Get Out. I was super excited to see how this one could turn out, and it was really great. I thought it was really good, and this and I thought it really lived up to the hype. It was really well written, and I also loved Elsie Fisher as the lead role of a Kayla. She even got nominated for the Golden Globe, which I find very exciting. And I also loved Josh Hamilton as her dad too. And he was just a great supporting actor, but I don't think he's gonna get nominated though, compared to all the other categories. And you can also truly see the passion Bo Burnham had with every shot he he had directed, and in interviews, he could clearly show that this was a very well done passion project of his. I was insanely excited to go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse when it came out. Like I was unbelievably excited. Like ever since the first trailer came out, I was like, that looks great. And then also just because John Mulaney, my actual favorite comedian, plays Spider Ham, an actual pig. I thought it was gonna be just great. And yes, I still have to make a separate review for this. Don't worry, that'll come at some point. But when I walked out of that theater, I really didn't know what to think of it. I had like mixed emotions about the movie, but it took me a little bit to realize that this is such a truly great movie and probably the best Spider-Man movie even to date. The writing and voice acting are stellar in this movie, especially Nick Cage as Spider Noir, who I found just straight up hilarious. He was so funny. And I'm also really hoping that this movie actually gets like sequels and spin-offs to it. I would really like to see how these characters like kind of go on their own paths, and I kind of want to see how they turn into like this great Spider-Man character. I didn't know what to expect when I started watching the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I've only seen the trailer once, and that was only because my friend Rafa wanted to show it to me, and I really wasn't that excited for it. I mean, I've been big fans of of the Coen Brothers movies in their past, like The Big Lebowski and Fargo and Hail Caesar and all of their other movies. They're all great, and I can gladly say that this one really stands up with the rest of them. This is such a great movie, and each of the stories have like a different feel to them, which I really like because almost everyone can find one story or like a movie or section of a movie that they can like and watch and enjoy. And the acting and writing are superb in this movie. It has such a great all-star cast, and I think the Coen brothers did a doggone job with it. Hereditary is the definition of a fantastic horror movie. It has a truly creepy atmosphere and a lot of disturbing images that stay in your mind for days, especially one actually pretty close to the end of the first act and beginning of the second without saying any spoilers. But I also have to praise the fact that this is one of the only A24 movies to get a wide release, which I love because this is probably gonna be one of my favorites for at least a while. And Toni Collette is such a great actress, and she really shows just her shine in this movie. And the entire family just has a great creepy chemistry together. And if you haven't checked this out yet, I really recommend it. You're gonna love it. Avengers Infinity War isn't just a movie, it's an entire event. Just the entire culmination of all these superheroes is just done fantastically by the Russo brothers and just their entire image of it. Not to mention the amazing portrayal of Thanos by Josh Brolin, and also the devastating ending that left me speechless. It was just so intense. Uh, my God, I was broken, and just the amazing visual effects are just so good. And I mean, this is really what it's just all been it's just all been leading up to ever since 2008 when Iron Man came out. And guys, if you haven't seen Infinity War yet, why are you watching my video? Go watch it. It's now on Netflix. You all have access to it, unless you don't have Netflix, which is kind of weird. Out of all the movies that are nominated for Best Picture, I probably want A Star Is Born to win the most out of all of them because just face it, none of the other movies on this list even have a chance at winning. This movie is just stellar. I couldn't get over how much I adored it after the credits rolled. Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper are such good actors, and they have a great chemistry together in this movie. I even thought that Bradley Cooper's direction was amazing because he also directed the movie as well. And also, A Star Is Born is another one of those tear jerkers. So if you get pretty sensitive, I suggest you bring tissues. Of course, I didn't cry because I'm manly. And the movie also has a fantastic soundtrack, especially the song "I'll Never Love Again." So, and if you just haven't seen it yet, I really strongly recommend you guys go watch it. I feel like I'm violating some sort of race code saying that Black Klansman is a spectacular movie. Well, because I'm white. But this movie's fucking amazing. Spike Lee is such a brilliant director, and he still brings it in with his latest joint. You can also tell that John David Washington has some of his acting genes that Denzel Washington has because he rocks it in this movie. Like he's such a great actor, and I also really hope he's nominated for best actor at the Golden Globes and the Oscars. The writing is also great in this movie, and so is the original score. And if you haven't checked out Black Klansman yet, you gotta go see it. It's like my number two of the year. But of course, that number one movie. I mean, if you're my friend, you probably know what it is, and you probably aren't surprised about what it is. But my number one pick is Isle of Dogs is just flat out the best movie of 2018. I mean, for me, there really is no other choice. This movie is just flat out spectacular. Wes Anderson has really proved himself to be an award-worthy director, and Isle of Dogs just takes the cake. For one thing, the animation is just beautiful. It's hard to believe that this is all stop motion because it seems so just painstakingly hard just to make this. And the cinematography, as always in a Wes Anderson film, is just a bliss to look at. I mean, for some people, that's just the main reason why they watch Wes Anderson films because it just looks so beautiful, and the screenplay is also just fantastic. I really hope it gets nominated for the Oscar, which it probably won't, but I really hope it does. And Ogson Desplat's score is probably his best work yet. I mean, it's just amazing. The voice work, especially by Bryan Cranston, is phenomenal. Guys, Isle of Dogs is by far the best movie of 2018. And I go as far as to say it's probably the best animated movie of the entire decade, at least so far. I mean, 2019 is still around the corner. And if you haven't seen Isle of Dogs yet, you guys are seriously missing out. Well, anyway, those are my picks for the top 10 movies of 2018. You guys probably disagree with a lot of them, but those are just my picks. And if you like what you see here, you can go subscribe in the sub. You can go click that subscribe button down below and hit that like button and be sure to stay groovy.